shooting fast, shooting very fast indeed. But one-on-one, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, he could have won from that position, but not today.
It's interesting, isn't it? Excluding relays, he's had 18 times been on the podium here in Hochfilzen, and the World Cup only comes here once a year, and he's been 18 years on the World Cup Tour. It's quite phenomenal, his achievement on these tracks. I was hoping, I really believed that he was going to get a top 5, top 10 today.
Hochfilzen, a place you'd use for training, Mike, as a club skier as opposed to an international?
I think it's a good place. The tracks are quite tough. As say a club skier, you want some smoother tracks, but you have options within the lovely skiing areas here. Look at his time. That's with 2 penalties. Bjorn Dahlen really is competitive. Even take 1 penalty away and he'd still be pushing for a top 4. That's a pity about just those 1 little shots missed.
Yeah, he's looking nice and light on the skis. It takes you back a couple of years. Didn't really see him ski like this last season. Very fluent. He won't make up much time over the last 400-500 meters, but we might see him cut that deficit to some 25, maybe even 20 seconds, and that will put him into the top 15. Now, Julian Eberhardt, 23 outside, another man who could join the leading 5 or 6 should he shoot clear on his second attempt. We need to find out what Martin Fourcade's done in the closing stages, Mike. He, of course, was 6.2 outside the leading time when we last saw him. We should get a split time at the top of the climb.
He's getting it down. I think he's going to be pushing very, very close to Bernbacher's time by the top.
I think he is. He's just about to appear over the top of the hill where you can see those coaches standing, and we'll get a split time with 1 kilometre to go. And Fourcade's sprint has started from 6.9. He only closed 0.7 of a second in the first 1.5 kilometres of this final loop, but it looks as though he's done all the damage and he could well go into the lead for the first time in this race. So Fourcade's time 23:37 and he's 0.2 ahead. Bernbacher won't like that, despite the strong wind.
It's an unbelievably strong headwind into him now, and that will make a little factor. It's only the big descent to the stadium now.
Yeah, that gust could easily have taken 0.2 of a second. You can see it blowing. When he turns round, he'll get the advantage of the wind dropping down the valley, but the damage might have been done, so Bernbacher's chances are not completely gone. Makaviev.
Absolute focus through the eye and stability through his left hand. Oh, beautiful.
It's good. This race is not done quite yet because he's got 9 seconds to stop the clock, but he's right down the far end. What was he in? Lane 27.28, and he's still going to be 6 or 7 seconds outside the best.
Can he threaten Bernbacher and, of course, Fourcade?
A little bit more, 9.1 for Makaviev, but he's gone clear, so he's not the fastest skier out there, but if he gets some decent company on the last lap, and Larby Lund is not a bad man to be behind. Here comes Svensson, 2 penalties to make up for. Skiing as well as anyone. 5 out of 5, and he could join the party in tomorrow's pursuit. The wind conditions are really picking up now, so difficult snow, as you can see, as Martin Fourcade comes into the stadium. 25:31, the time he's after. He got himself 0.2 of a second in the lead when he came over the top of the climb, and he's still got 20 metres to go. 27, 28, 29, it's going to be desperately close. 0.4 outside. The gust of wind has cost him. That 1 gust of wind, surely the difference between winning and losing. Martin Fourcade misses out on a third win by the smallest of margins, and Bernbacher breathes a huge sigh of relief. My goodness, how close was that?
That did not look possible. It looked as if it was going the way of Martin Fourcade. The way he picked up the middle segment of the track, the 3.3 kilometre track, I think you're right. The storm that's just come in held him back up the final climb.
Well, if a gust is strong enough to knock over those inflated markers, it's certainly strong enough to slow you down and take some time out of your performance. Well, disappointment for him, but I think he'll get a huge amount of confidence from this if he's not already 100% confident. And what a fantastic position he'll find himself in at the start of tomorrow's pursuit. He did nothing wrong after the halfway marker. Welcome back to Hochfilzen. Here you see the standings at the moment. Still one or two big names to finish. Birnbacher, Foucault, Fack is in there. What a great race for Fack, the winner of the individual World Championship event in Ruhpolding last year. He's shown that he's still on the same sort of form. The locals, Mike, the Austrian team, as we watch Eberhard going through his second shoot.
Well, incredibly, they know this range better than anyone else. The Hochfilzen range, they train here in the summer, and it hasn't been a great day on the range, especially for the Austrians, but skiing fast. Julien has missed his first two shots in the standing. Such a pity to take three in a row, 3 victories at the IBU Cup. It's fantastic racing. Maybe his expectations put himself under pressure there. It was as if he didn't even aim the last shot.
Here comes Bjorn Dahlen up towards the 9-kilometre split. And we're not expecting him to be within 30 seconds, 39.8, down in 16th position at the moment. It's not bad though, Mike, when you consider he's had 2 missed targets. Take away the penalties.
Take away the penalties and we're looking level with Birnbacher, so his ski speed is good. And I think he, well, we'll have to wait and see, but he must be feeling good about the pursuit race tomorrow.
Do you think we're going to see Bjorn Dahlen in the Relay World Cups this year?
It's going to be a tough one when you've got such big names, and of course Christensen placing well today. Although the younger lads have looked a little more tired this week than they did last week, and that doesn't bode well when you've got such an intense racing season. But veterans, strong men like Svensson, even missing 3, surely they'll put him into the relay. You couldn't leave him out. But I think Bjorn Dahlen will make the Norwegian top 4 for the relay team. In fact, he'll probably place first or second Norwegian today. Just
looking at the timings, Mike, and the bib numbers of those who've done well. The only man who started in Group 1 who is up in the top 10 is Jean-Philippe Legelic of Canada, who had a fantastic run. He's down in 9th position at the 8.7 marker. Everyone else in Group 3 or 4, which indicates that the Norwegians and the French got it right. They predicted the snow conditions right, but I think they found that the wind backfired on them.
I would say it did. I mean, the range didn't, to be honest, change too much, but certainly on the track we saw with Foucault, he nearly got blown over and cost him without doubt those 0.4 seconds.
Here comes Bjorn Dahlen, just under 40 seconds behind when we last saw him. He's putting in a very spirited finish indeed, which could well see him finish in the top 15. 26.11 on the clock at the moment. Christensen survives. Schipulin 26.14 goes down, and top 15 for Oleana Bjorn Dahlen with 2 misses. Again, he knows that if he shoots clear, he is a potential winner. His career is not over quite yet.
And he's only, Bjorn Dahlen, he's only 2 seconds behind the fastest Norwegian today at the moment, which is Christensen, 14th position. There's the ammunition. 5 of those bullets put into each magazine.
Interesting to see the spin on the round of the ammunition. That's really what determines its accuracy.
It is, and the barrels have this circular rifling, it's called, a rim down the inside of the rifle barrel. Makabev only 19 seconds off, and that does create the and it does, as it spins around on its trajectory down the range, when you've got the strong wind from the left, it also presses it down because of the rotation. So not only does it blow it to the right, but to the right and down.
I guess it's similar to rugby. If you put a spin on the rugby ball when you punt it into touch, you get a nice stable flight. If you don't, it waves all over the place. And if you don't want the opposition to catch it, try not to put any spin on it at all. It makes it a whole lot harder.
Suman so disappointed to miss 3 out of 5 in his prone, but perfect in the standing.
Well, let's have another look at the standings in the finish. We know that Bjorndalen is no threat. We know that Svensson is no threat. Björnbacher, I think, can just about start his celebrations, but look how close Martin Fourcade got. 0.4 of a second. Jakob Falk just 13 behind. He'll join the leaders without a doubt at the start of the pursuit and get right on the tail of those two big names. Others lesser, again, Mike, showing that his results in Östersund were no fluke. He's got himself in 13th position with one miss. Christiansen, the best of the Norwegians, shooting perfectly. That is just what he needed to boost him. And of course, we didn't mention Legelic, Mike. A great run from an early start number. I just wonder how he would have done had he drawn bib number 50 or 60.
But he's doing so well. 9th position it was for Legelic. Prior to this season, his best ever was sixth position at the Olympic Games, and that's a smaller field. Only 4 from each nation can be entered. So Legelic, the season of his life. I feel for Julian Eberhard, but it just shows the strength of his skiing. He's only 123 off the pace, missing 3 targets.
92, that is Leif Nordgren from USA, 23-year-old on the team, trying to break in to the top 2 or 3 in the American team. Magnus Jonsson started just behind him, Helena Jonsson's brother. Now the Russians, their positions, well, they've still got Ustikov lying in 5, Makiviev now in 6, and further down Malishko in 11th. So their season has continued how it started, and they'll be delighted with that.
Germany today, of course, Björnbacher leading it, but then Lesser 14th. And we have to go down to 30th to get the 3rd German.
Last man to start, Christian De Lorenzi, and he's gone through the final split looking very good indeed. 40 seconds outside. He shot the perfect score today, and Christian De Lorenzi, well, he won't win, but I think he'll be delighted to be in contention for tomorrow's pursuit. How far behind is Svensson going to be at the start of the pursuit? Well, he gets a start, 33rd position, 103 behind. He could make some big gains if he shoots the perfect 20 out of 20 tomorrow, and he could certainly challenge for a top 5 position. But 33rd, that is not the sort of result that Svensson's used to. He loses a lot of ground to Martin Fourcade. Well, 2 races taking place today. The men's is just about finished. The women's coming up this afternoon, and that will be on air at 14:25. That's European time, so 1:25 if you're in the UK. And, well, is it going to be another day for Tora Berger of Norway, who started the season in such style, or will Dom Rasheva come through and claim her first win of the year? You'll have to join us later on this afternoon to find out. We'll leave you from Hochfilzen for now with the news that Andreas Björnbacher of Germany has won his first World Cup of the season. 25:31 his winning time.